Hey guys, welcome back to Reds Minor Leagues Talk. Unfortunately, it's just me this week, and we've actually got a lot to talk about. As I was getting prepared for this, two different things kind of broke on Twitter. I guess we'll start off with the Reds moves that they made today. They claimed off of waivers a catcher and an outfielder. Catcher was Juan. Oh, I'm going to butcher this last name, unfortunately, but I believe it's Guerrero. He is taking the place on the roster of Ramon Cabrera, who spent most of the year with the Reds in 2016 backing up Tucker Barnhart. I actually wrote about how the Reds may be looking to replace him in the Rule 5 draft earlier today, so that the timing was pretty good on that. Just seems the Reds went in a different direction when Guerrero became available on waivers last week. They put in the claim and it went through. And then they also picked up outfielder Gabby Guerrero, who is a former top 10 prospect in several organizations, both with the Mariners and with the Diamondbacks. It's an interesting set of moves. We'll start off with Juan Guerrero. And let's see, we'll bring that up. You know, he's been around for a while now. You can see here. He signed and started playing in 2006 with the Royals. After several years there, he moved on to the Yankees organization. And then last year, he spent some time in the Angels organization. Finally got a cup of coffee here in 2016 in September with the Angels. Only played in 9 games, got 15 plate appearances. So nothing really statistical to even bring up as far as big league time goes. When you look at his minor league numbers, he really does look pretty similar offensively to the guy who's replacing Ramon Cabrera. You know, both guys make a lot of contact, don't walk much, have next to no power to speak of. Let's see. The first home run that this guy hit came as a 22-year-old after 5 seasons in the minor leagues. Now, none of those seasons came with plenty of plate appearances. He never topped 150 plate appearances in a year before that. But where he does get praise is in his defensive abilities, which is something that Cabrera wasn't exactly known for. Cabrera had a below-average arm. You know, he wasn't really praised for being a very good pitch framer. But, you know, he did everything just well enough. Whereas Guerrero, definitely is known more for his defense. You can see in his minor league caught stealing numbers, they've been pretty good for the most part. Last year, he threw out 32% at AAA, 20% in the big leagues. But again, we're talking 9 games. Doesn't really mean anything. It's probably more of a lateral move. If this guy winds up being, the backup to Tucker Barnhart until Mesoraco returns, hopefully, it's not really a big deal. It wouldn't surprise me if the Reds still went out on the minor league free agent market and tried to bring in another guy similar to him, or maybe even try and bring back Ramon Cabrera to play in Louisville just to provide extra depth just in case. The other guy they picked up, Gabby Guerrero, he actually is related to Vladimir Guerrero. For those of you wondering, it's his nephew. Similar in the sense that he's got an enormous arm in right field. He's got pretty good size. He's listed at 6'3", 215 according to Baseball Reference, which if you're not using them, you really need to, because they're the best statistical website that I have been able to find, especially for minor league data. But after hitting really well in High Desert, which, if you're unaware, High Desert is the most friendly ballpark in the California League, which is the friendliest league in all of minor league baseball, he's pretty much not hit anywhere else. He went to Double-A in 2015 and absolutely got it handed to him. I mean, he posted a 258 on-base percentage. At no point in the season did he OPS over 700 in any month. This past year in 2016, he went back to Double-A to start the year and posted a 284 on-base percentage, and somehow that earned him a promotion to Triple-A, where he hit 212 with a 273 on-base percentage. Statistically, it's tough to find much to like. He seems to have a very aggressive approach. The scouting report backs that up. There are concerns about his pitch recognition, which that might be more of the problem than a selection issue, is he just can't determine what pitch is coming soon enough to react properly. So I'm just not sure exactly what the Reds are doing here. I don't want to throw anyone under the bus. They may see something. I'm sure they have way more information than I do. But just looking at the stats, I don't get this move. This team is the same team that, they let Yorman Rodriguez go, 6 weeks ago. They cut him off of their 40-man roster. This guy's a little bit younger. He'll be 23 next year. But he's never hit above A ball. And, it's not even close. Like, he has not hit in the slightest above A ball. He's got tons of raw power to tap into, but he's clearly been unable to use that. You can look at his stats since he came to the United States. Outside of hitting in the California League, he hasn't hit 10 home runs in a season. And this is a guy that's supposed to have, elite power potential. He's unable to use these tools because he doesn't really recognize pitches well enough to do anything with them. He's not a guy who's going to be able to help the Reds next year at all unless he makes insanely drastic improvements between now and, at some point next year, which is highly unlikely given the entire history of his career. Defensively, he'll be able to help a little bit. He's got a really big arm in right field. But I just don't understand this maneuver. I really think that he probably would have gone unclaimed by any of the other teams. Apparently, all of the American League decided to pass on him. That's how he got to the Reds over here on the National League side of things. But yeah, this is a move that I just don't quite get from the Reds' point of view. Let's see. The other big thing that broke on Twitter was from Ken Rosenthal. Apparently, the owners have backed off of the idea of an international draft as a requirement in the new collective bargaining agreement. That's really been a big point of contention between the owners and the Players Association. The players want nothing to do with an international draft, and it really did seem like the key sticking point. The players want some things to go on with the luxury tax threshold. They feel that some teams are just basically sitting back and raking in some of the money. Marlins, hello. But it just seemed that was the bigger point of all of the things that they were asking for. The owners were pushing very hard for that, and the players weren't having any of it, which it's very good to see that the players were finally standing up for, these guys aren't even minor leaguers yet, but standing up for the young guys that don't have any real representation. It seems that in the past they've kind of always just thrown those guys under the bus to get very small things for the major league players. So that's very nice to see. Where things go from here, I'm not sure. I think the owners are probably still going to try and do something to change the way the international system currently works, whether that's to eliminate the penalties that teams have to pay when they, go over their pool allotment, or if it's going to be something where, they take away the pool allotments. I don't think that's going to happen, but I do think that there's going to be some changes. I just don't know what those are yet. It's the 28th of November right now. They've got until December 1st to get a new agreement in place. There's been some quiet rumblings that the owners would lock out the players and they wouldn't have the winter meetings next week if the two sides don't come to an agreement. I doubt that's going to happen. I feel that the international draft being pulled off the table is the biggest stepping stone. I think they'll get it done, and the winter meetings will go on. If you ask me, I think that it's just a matter of getting some T's crossed, some I's dotted, and they'll get all of that done. But yeah, those are pretty much the two biggest things that are going on minor league wise. It's good to see that the Reds are trying to actively improve their roster. I'm just not so sure that the moves they made today really did that. As I said, I think that one move is pretty lateral. It's going to improve the defense, but it's going to be a backup catcher at best who's probably not going to play too often. So any real difference it does make is going to be minimal. And I'm just not sure that Gabby Guerrero is going to be able to do anything whatsoever, particularly in 2017, to help the organization. moving forward, I mean, there's a chance. He's definitely got the tools, but the production isn't there. The stats don't really suggest the improvements are going to come. The scouting reports kind of say the same thing. He's going to be 23, so he's still got time on his side. But when you see guys that struggle with pitch recognition for so long, you usually don't see them figure it out. If he does, we're talking plenty of upside on the offensive side of the baseball. But you just don't see that kind of improvement come too often for guys that have that problem. But we will see. But all right, we're going on 11 minutes now, so I'm going to cut this off here. Thanks for tuning in. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, click on that red button, and you'll get updates whenever we upload either player prospect videos or we have a new Reds minor league talk. Usually I'm joined by Courage. He's not feeling well today, so Courage, if you're watching, feel better. Hopefully we'll see you next week. All right, take care, guys.